Anthropological monism. There are many monisms in philosophy, idealism and materialism in metaphysics, as well as pantheisms of various sorts. All regard ultimate reality, the basic building blocks of the universe, as a single essence or substance. In theological anthropology, this not very apt name is employed for the view that what others call soul does not and cannot exist apart from the body. Hence, when the body dies, the soul ceases to exist. By some it is said to sleep. This is not the same figure of speech which the Bible employs, where the sleep-like posture and appearance of a corpse suggests sleep. Jesus and Paul both employ it, John 11:11, 1 Thess 4:13, 14. Monism can lead to other results than soul sleep, in older literature called psychoponychia. The error often arises among folk who begin by fixing attention on the many texts of Scripture which do indeed speak of the normal unity of each specimen of our kind, then proceed by reinterpreting the doctrine of death as annihilation and non-existence or sleep until a future resurrection, a resurrection which would really be a recreation. Passages which speak clearly of the conscious existence of the soul, whether in the body or out of the body, are then wrested to support their case. Dr. Murray Harris, in 2 books, Raised Immortal, Eerdmans, 1985, and From Grave to Glory, Baker, 1990, insisted on a basic monism of the New Testament and managed the New Testament texts to teach that each believer at death immediately receives a permanent resurrection body. So there is no period of disembodiment between death and resurrection. According to the scheme, apparently our earthly bodies remain in their graves forever. He supposes that after teaching a physical resurrection of believers at the future Second Advent in a very early epistle, Galen 4:13 ff. Paul changed his mind and taught reception of a spiritual body, freshly created at the moment of one's death in the later epistle, 2 Cor 5:1 ff. Dr. Harris claims the names of 38 modern scholars as supporting this change in Paul's teaching. I noticed few conservative scholars' names in his list. It has been reported that Dr. Harris may have reversed his opinion. He has done so on other matters of doctrine. As we shall see, monism, the doctrine that the human soul has no existence apart from a body, is unbiblical and, if strictly adhered to, is incompatible with Orthodox Christianity. Yet it can be innocently stated in connection with an undoubted truth: each individual man is truly a psychosomatic unity. If one adds the word indissoluble as in, each human being is an indissoluble psychosomatic unity, then monism is being affirmed, that is, the soul does not exist apart from the body. What is frequently meant is, each human being is normally, that is if sin and death had never introduced an abnormality into the human situation, a psychosomatic unity. At death, body and soul are rent apart. The unity is broken, the body going to death and dissolution, the soul to be in heaven or hell. The doctrine of monism is prevalent today in liberal theologies of the Old Testament as well as in Reformation times among certain radical Anabaptists. Soul sleep, corollary of monism among religious people, is official teaching of several Adventist sects, notably Seventh-day Adventists. An official publication sets forth the teaching in detail. The book states, the dust of the ground minus the breath of life yields a dead person or dead soul without any consciousness. The elements that made up the body return to the earth from which they came. The soul has no conscious existence apart from the body, and no scripture indicates that at death the soul survives as a conscious entity. I have already addressed this ancient error in a previous chapter. It is introduced here simply as one of the views of the non-material side of mankind. It has never been held by any large number of otherwise orthodox believers. It would be a distraction from Christian theology at this point to go deeply into the question of mind-body relationships as treated in philosophy and psychology. The following summarizes what you might learn about mind-brain, body-mind, connections in a college course in Introduction to Philosophy. For strict materialists there is no problem. We are our bodies, our thoughts are electrical brain waves, energy passing through nerve cells, or like the morning star and the evening star, two ways of viewing the planet Venus. For pure idealists we and everything else in the world are pure ideas, hence no problem. The idealists and materialists think reality is of one kind of substance, they are called monists. Granting the soul and body are not the same, philosophers have proposed that mind and body interact causally on one another, producing both mental events and events in our bodies, interactionism. Parallelism holds minds and bodies are not causally connected but even so are correlated in some mysterious way, running side by side. Nicholas Malebranche, 1638–1715, a Catholic philosopher, proposed God himself is the causal connection between body and mind, soul. God produces corresponding mental and physical events. When the mind wills the body to do something, on that occasion God causes the body to do it, hence occasionalism. This is not a widely held view in today's secular climate. A more popular theory today holds that while body and mind, whatever it is, are not the same, two kinds of entity, all mental occurrences have physical causes. There is no reciprocal effect. Conscious, mental processes simply accompany certain events, processes, in the neural, nerve, system, hence epiphenomenal, like the fever which accompanies an infection, the mental effects are not the main event. So this primarily medical term enters philosophy. The theologian is under no biblical obligation to adopt any of these theories, though it is useful to know about them.